Welcome back to the second trick, recapping my Icon 2016 presentation. Just to set the context, these tricks are all about productivity, and in this particular one, I'm going to be demonstrating how to use internal automation to really streamline your processes and to make you more productive while using Infusionsoft. So what we've got here is a campaign of mine. This is actually the welcome campaign for my OG membership, right? So if somebody buys or becomes an OG member, that triggers this campaign, right? So the first sequence I have here is just to add them to Customer Hub, but it also creates an internal task, right? And tasks are on the process menu over here, and they're best used for kind of one-off things that need to happen offline or need to be done by a human, but they happen at a regular or predictable interval, so you can schedule a task to prompt you to do something offline. So for example, my members get access to a MonkeyPod Facebook group, right? A specific private group for question and answer, right? So what this does is it creates a task for me that just says, hey, so-and-so just became an OG subscriber. Add them to the MonkeyPod Grove. That's the Facebook group. So that way I get a notification, and then when I get a request from them to join the group, I recognize their name and I can go ahead and approve them. Or if I know who they are and I'm friends with them on Facebook, I can reach out to them and add them anyway. The second piece of internal automation is, at least for me, a fulfillment list. And fulfillment lists are good when you need to do something, but you want to do it for a group instead of person by person, right? Something like printing name badges or a registration list, or maybe a group of thank you cards, right? And fulfillment list is right here on the process tab as well. But the way I'm using this is I have it set to batch. When there are 5 items to fulfill, but not to wait longer than 15 days, right? So it should happen about every 2 weeks, or if I get 5 new signups in between, it'll happen as soon as there are 5. And I actually have it set up to email me instead of go to my dashboard, so it's going to send it right to my inbox, and it's saying, hey, these are the new members, go post in the MonkeyPod Grove to welcome them. So part of what I do is I have a post in my group, just says, hey, here are the new members this week, welcome guys, something like that. And it doesn't make sense for me to do that every time there's a new member because I don't want to flood the group with all of these posts, so I just do it about once every week or once every 2 weeks or whenever there are 5 to fulfill. So that helps me stay on top of it, make sure that the new members feel welcome, and it introduces them to the other members of the group so that they can start to interact and maybe have some dialogue about their business and their issues, right? So those are the 2 ways that I leverage internal automation. The third method is something called an internal email. And it works just like an ordinary email, with the exception of instead of allowing this email to be directed to the contact, you're changing this component to other. And the reason you might do that is because you might choose to use this to notify a third party or an internal resource, or just to notify yourself that something needs to happen, right? So you can, of course, create tasks to notify yourself, but sometimes it's easier just to put an email in a sequence, change the to field so that it's going to you, to let you know that someone hit a certain benchmark in your campaign, or maybe that something hasn't happened, right? Somebody maybe hasn't progressed on, so you build in that notification email as a reminder, okay? So, all I'm really getting at here is that internal automation should be sprinkled throughout your existing campaigns and funnels to help drive these processes. It would be great if everything you needed to happen was customer facing. But sometimes it takes some internal effort in order to make things line up the way you want. Sometimes you have to manually go do something. And I'm not suggesting you replace the human element. All I'm suggesting is that you leverage the internal automation tools that Infusionsoft has to help introduce some accountability and maybe improve the efficiency of whatever it is that's happening offline. So that's the end of my second tip here. Hopefully by leveraging those resources and the other tools available inside Infusionsoft, you can streamline some of your internal processes as well. And I look forward to sharing the third tip with you, campaign merge fields and campaign links. I'll see you in a moment.